Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me once again, screaming into the void of the internet. Just got through working out, after night shift and stuff like that. I'm off tomorrow, so it doesn't really matter how long I stay up tonight. But I wanted to make a video in response to something I've been seeing, you know, for a while. And heck, I've even seen certain people in this space talk about it. And I kind of want to say this real quick, and you'll see it in the title. You want to know the people that are going to push back on you the most with misandry, okay? The most misandrous people you can come across, which if you don't understand what the word means, it's essentially, the opposite of misogyny. You know how people love to throw that word around these days? If you show that you are willing to speak up on men's behalf, you're just branded a misogynist because you want to see things from a male perspective. So, hey, you're a misogynist, blah, blah, blah. Well, misandry is actually, the opposite of that, where it's actually happening. We don't usually just say misandrist around lightly when we say misandrists, but I'm just going to be real. I've noticed that the biggest misandrists in this space, personally, are usually other freaking guys, especially Tradcucks. And I'm kind of going to go ahead and rant for a little bit, if you don't mind me saying. I get really tired of these freaking Tradcucks trying to tell us that, they're traditional and all this crap and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I believe them in a certain aspect because I think that they're so traditional that they are willing to try and go back to days where apparently, we're just never supposed to hold gals accountable. And we need to just treat it as, oh, they're only doing something bad because they don't got no strong, traditional man to, guide them and stuff like that. And you see it in this space sometimes with some of these dumb arses telling you that, oh, it's wrong for you to just go pay a hooker or something to go get your nut in because, oh, they're being manipulated and stuff. And listen, I'm not just saying this as a guy who dabbles in hookers because I don't do it regularly. I don't break my bank, freaking getting puss. But I find this so funny because so many of these people in this space don't even have a girlfriend. They've never had a girlfriend. And I'm not saying this as an insult. I'm just letting you know how it is as a guy who actually has dated and stuff like that and has had girlfriends. They are not freaking free. I don't know why someone thinks that just because somebody's telling you that they love you, that you actually believe that you're somehow not going to freaking pay for them. Heck, let me just go ahead and be real with you for a moment, right? Let me go ahead and be real for you. Listen, a female coworker of mine is literally getting married. And I kid you not, what they were talking about tonight was the marriage and where it's going to be and stuff like that. You want to guess how much she is going to spend just on the wedding? We're not talking about the honeymoon or anything, just the wedding ceremony. Just guess. And if you are willing to guess, please write it in the comments and I will give you 5 seconds. And I'm going to assume that 9 times out of 10 you got it wrong because the wedding ceremony alone, she is spending $10,000. $10,000 on a wedding ceremony. A wedding ceremony. Now you're going to tell me that, oh, they're getting married. It's the ultimate declaration of love. And she's got this fella dropping 10 freaking grand. I don't care if she's covering, say even half of it if that's what it is. Because it's not like I dabbled. I just heard that that's how much it's going to be. Who is just dropping money like that? You know how many months of rent that is? You know how much school tuition that you can pay, several months of tuition with that? And she is saying that her special day is 10 grand. And even when people were trying to talk, they were like, don't you think this? Oh, no, it's my special day. But so many of these dumb arse tradcuck freaking cocksuckers, these misandrous cunts, right? They're going to tell you that, oh no, it's the connection. That's why you can't have the hookers. You need the connection. Oh, sure, because there's a connection. That's why I got to spend all this freaking money to maintain them, right? Because listen, I'm just going to tell you like it is, bros. No money, no honey. I don't make the freaking rules. It is what it is. Does it suck? Yeah. Does part of you want to love them for real? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not the case. And even before this crap blew up, I'm going to tell you, the movies that kind of woke me up, as well as my own personal experiences. 2 movies in particular. One, I'm sure you're familiar, and the other, if you haven't watched it, I recommend you go watch it. The one is Forrest Gump. Now, Forrest was a mentally off person, obviously, but he loved that girl, and I don't even remember her name like that, but he loved that girl, and she was just a complete whore, just sleeping around with anybody. Then it's obviously believed that at the end of the film, like, she contracts like AIDS from that freaking lifestyle or something, and she just dumps a kid on him after she had sex with him one time, pity sex. Who's to say that? Oh, and by the way, that's your son. Where's the proof? You just said it, and obviously because he's a rich guy and he's gullible because of his mental state, he didn't question it. He just like, oh, that's my son. And heartbreaking of all is he could not he could not realize what it was that she was doing. And so even at the end of the film, he's like, I miss you. And that's a heart-wrencher, because honestly, well, all the crap that he went through, he deserves better. He deserves better. And that was a wake-up call for me, but the second wake-up call, and this is a movie that I think that a lot of you might not have watched, but I do recommend you watch it if you do like certain things in the military and stuff like that. It's called Jarhead. Go watch Jarhead. In one of the scenes, and this is one that stuck out with me, I'm telling you. A soldier gets a tape from his wife, and they all go to watch it, and I'm guessing kind of like where they do briefings and stuff like that. And it's her getting banged by a guy. And he says, that's my wife. And he starts breaking down and crying. And the main character in the movie says, I'm waiting for you to leave so that I can watch it, because like one of the head honchos came along and said, that's his wife. Leave this man alone and stop watching it. And so everyone but him stays, and he says, I want to watch it again. He says, why do you want to watch it? He says, I want to know what it's like to have someone fuck your girlfriend. Because he was realizing the high likelihood that the girl that he left was not going to remain loyal to him. And it's shown that at the end of the movie, when he finally does come back home, she already had someone else. So all of this horse crap that people want to tell you about love and romance and stuff like that, it's just garbage. Love is not... Listen, as far as I'm concerned, the only real love out here, personally, and I'm going to get controversial here, I'm going to mention 2 loves. Platonic love, I think that's pretty much real, for parental reasons and stuff like that. And even then, you gotta wonder about how real that is, considering that half of the freaking species is very much willing to slaughter their own kids in the womb. So yeah. But secondly, if we're gonna talk about actual love, the way that people want to describe it, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this from a controversial standpoint, I think that the gay guys, okay, not the ones with the freaking colored hair, like the freaking wokies, the ones that are demanding that everyone accepts them. I think that just those guys, they have the closest thing to what people want to describe it as. And I'm going to tell you why. They're the only instance where both can have nothing and they'll stand by each other. Again, I'm specifically speaking about the ones who are not absolute degenerates and stuff like that constantly need to pretend like my entire identity is being a forgot. They can listen, they will have each other through thick and thin. I think that they have the closest thing to it. Because again, you gotta show up with something as a guy. And you gotta show up with a whole bunch as a guy. Why do you think that there's all this freaking talk about, there aren't enough economically attractive guys? You wanna know what that means? She's a broke cunt, she's swimming in debt, and she wants you to just come up and clean up her life, and so once it's cleaned up, she can dip and leave your arse right over again. She wants you to be the useful idiot, and you're supposed to get shamed into being a useful idiot. Now it's up to you to choose that, because there's plenty of guys that can't control themselves, and so they go ahead and do it. But yeah, I refuse. No, thank you. I'm not going to be someone's useful idiot. I'm not going to be someone's freaking cleanup guy. I don't care. And I sure as heck don't care about some dumb arse who's going to sit here and talk about how, they're a traditional person, and you know dang well they watched The Hub just like everybody else, right? They didn't see tons of prawn, because what is this idea that a grown woman can't make decisions for herself? Because listen, let's be real. Some of these guys that talk about how they're like pillars of traditional values and all this crap, if you look at their girlfriends and stuff like that, or their wives, you know what they usually still have? Social freaking media. And guess what kind of pictures they have on social media? Oh yeah. Nice bikini photos, all of that stuff. All of the skin, all of that modesty. What's modesty? I want what's going to give me clicks. I want people telling me I'm a baddie. But somehow that's fine. Somehow you marrying that kind of person, that's fine. But you want to talk about your traditional? And this is the kind of person that you married? Some of these guys flat out marry OnlyFans hookers. Are you kidding me? Either OnlyFans gals or freaking porn stars. Kid you not. Porn stars. And they're going to talk about traditionalism? Really? Really? Because listen, what I really wish that a lot of guys could do, and I know that this is just not going to happen, I wish that a lot of guys could just kill the idea of love that they have in their head. See it for what it is. It's just an exchange. See it for what it is. This is what I wish, because I think that once you do, I'm not going to say that life gets better for you or something. It's just that you are aware of how it actually works. So you can't get scammed. It's like going into a freaking business place and someone is willing. They're willing to show you how it actually works so that you don't get scammed. But people are like, I don't want to believe that this business is scummy. And so they keep getting scammed, and then they keep complaining. At a certain point, you have to just wonder, okay, you're choosing not to understand how it works. You can whine all you want, but you're choosing not to understand how it works. Your sympathy can only go so far when someone is actively making the choice. Because listen, let's get something straight. I don't give a rat's arse what anyone says about this. You can be the most traditional guy on this planet, and your chick can still choose to cheat on you. Your daughter can still choose to be an absolute whore. And at the end of the day, it just is what it is. You can choose to raise people up, but they have to choose to actually want to stand by the principles that you give them. You have no guarantee. They're their own people. And you have an entire culture just incentivizing them to be whores and stuff like that. And so guess what they usually do? They'll be it. And this is why I say, hey, listen, why fight it? Why not just legalize brothels and just tax them into oblivion? Same way they want to tax us. If it's work, let's actually treat it like work and tax you. Oh yeah. You're going to get taxed. And like I said, if the way that I would do it is this. You got to get a monthly card showing that you're STD free, and that gets renewed quarterly. So that's every 3 months, And that goes on your background check, since it's actually, work. It's taxable, like I said. And most importantly, you cannot have a kid. If you choose that life, you can't have a kid, because that reputation is going to be a reputation. And the kid does not deserve that. Because you're seeing what's happening right now with some of these freaking people, having kids even after this OnlyFans stuff, and the kids get slaughtered in school. Constantly ridiculed. Just pictures of their mom just shown to them 24/7. Now, when he or she pops and murks some people in that school, they're going to look stupid and go, oh, what happened? I'm not going to look stupid. Listen, those kids ain't innocent. If you're constantly effing with somebody that's not screwing with you, and you know that they got to go home to that every day, listen, I'm just being real. Nothing of value is lost. Should that kid go ahead and just say, you know what, F it, I don't care. Nothing of value is lost. I don't see some freaking bully at a young age constantly bullying somebody for something that they can't control. It's one thing if they're doing something that they can control. But something that they can't control? Like who their parents are? I don't see that kind of person growing up to being anybody. that's going to be someone that you're going to respect in the world. Could it be wrong? Yeah, but considering what you're doing right now, yeah. Because listen, I'm just being real. A lot of the bad apples when you were younger are bad apples. Bad apples as adults. Yeah. So when I'm listening to these Tradcucks that make it seem like, these girls just can't decide for themselves. No, nobody's got a gun to the back of their head making them, make OnlyFans. You remember the Catch Me Outside chick? The moment that she turned 18? What did she say she did? She signed up for OnlyFans. Did someone make her do that? Nope. She just saw that she could make money, and she made money. The same way that all these gals on Gram, on Snapchat, on any social media, can just go ahead and start posting pictures of themselves. They love the attention. And at the end of the day, guys are going to give it to them. This is what guys like. They're going to keep simping. So this is why I'm just being honest. Why fight it? Why fight it? These Tradcucks are the most insufferable bastards because the ones who are not being simps, the ones that are saying, it's not like I'm in some freaking room, in some freaking stream room, just showering chicks with freaking cash. The most that I say is if you gotta get it, just go pay for it. Because I don't understand how there are actually people that say, oh no, I'd never do that. Meanwhile, they're spending thousands in messages for a girl they're never gonna touch. When I could just tell a guy, hey, just spend 100, 200 for someone you can actually touch. And someone who will touch you. But these freaking cocksucking misandrist Tradcucks want to tell you that you shouldn't do it. That's somehow freaking manipulation. That they somehow don't have free will and they're not doing that themselves. Again, unless there is some invisible gun, okay, some invisible blade at the throats of all these gals on the internet, nobody is making them do it. They're grown adults. Hold themselves accountable. Hold them accountable. This is why they can keep doing crap like this. This is why we live in a freaking misandrist society. Because so many guys want to just take up for people, for grown adults, that at the end of the day should be held accountable for their actions. I don't care if they regret it tomorrow. They chose to do it. I don't care if they don't ever have another day of anonymity in their lives. They chose to give that away the moment they're taking freaking pictures of their arsehole and posted it on the internet. It is what it is. You wanted that quick money, and that money came with a price. Yeah, even money comes with a price. It is what it is. Listen, guys, I'm just going to tell you something straight up, dude. The people who you're going to have to fight the most when it comes down to freedom in life as a man, it's other men. It's other men, especially when they refuse. Listen, they refuse to believe that there are guys like me, and maybe some of you, if you're listening, that just say, F it. I'm not going to freaking participate in this bullcrap. I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to marry. I'm not going to put myself in a position that screws me over. And they hate that because they probably did everything imaginable. They injected themselves with steroids and testosterone, all kinds of crap, to bulk up. They slaved at a wage cage for freaking decades to get their money up. And you're saying that you'll never do what they did. Because I think part of their subconsciousness, part of their ego, is constantly fueling themselves at how successful they are. And they refuse to believe that there are guys that can be content with a lot less than that. And there are guys that are just going to try and do things differently. Be it artificial girlfriends and stuff like that, AIs, right? Heck, even now, with Japan, hey, listen, they have successfully made an artificial womb in Japan. You can look that up. That's not a joke. This crap is coming. No pun intended. Guys are going to find solutions to these problems. And a lot of these guys hate that. Because in their subconscious, they feel invalidated. All of the effort that they put in to achieve success, as they say, and all that success that they have, that's just a wire And the gal that they're with has the scissors. And at any point, all she has to do is cut that wire. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I just want to say this, guys. Pursue whatever you want to, because this is your life. You know, hell, even if you want to be a simp for some dumb arse reason, go ahead and be a simp. Just don't freaking ask for any pity. Just wallow in the freaking mud and just accept that you a simp. If you're going to do that, by all means. But for all the guys that are actually doing something worthy of respect, that is. Because no, I do not respect simps, and I'll go ahead and openly say that. Yeah, I don't respect simps at all. But for all the guys that are actually trying to do something worthwhile, don't let these freaking cocksuckers tell you that somehow you're being you're not on a high moral standpoint. It's unethical for you to pursue whatever it is that you want to get. And this is not just talking about hookers. This is whatever you want to do. If you want to get freaking AIs, freaking love dolls, whatever you want. Don't let these dumb arses try and tell you how you're going to live when most of the time these cocksuckers are being caught in freaking cuckold parties, swinger parties. All of this Tradcuck bullcrap, it's a facade. It's a grift. Way too many young men don't have dads because of this freaking generation of chicks that force their dads out the home with divorce. And so what do? They turn to the internet and they hope that this image that's being projected on the internet is the real thing. When in actuality, again, a whole bunch of these bastards are freaking cuckolds, swingers, debaucherous bastards that don't believe for a second what they're saying. They're just doing it to get shekels. You really want to trust people that are telling you at the start of streams and stuff like that, oh, this isn't enough likes. You better get some more likes in here or I'm ending the stream. I can't believe that there are men falling for this crap. But then again, considering who raised them, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. You know? But yeah. Sorry if that was a bit more passionate and heated, but I despise Tradcucks. And I hate misandrists. And the biggest people coming at you who are misandrist Tradcucks are other guys. And that's mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing to me. They come at you harder than feminists. And that's saying something. But, yeah. Guys, pursue your freedom. Pursue what makes you happy. These guys can go shove it. And they're probably doing that. They're probably getting freaking pegged every night. And if they're not getting pegged by the wives, they probably got their wives' boyfriends. So yeah. Just saying, guys. Don't listen to these dumb arses. Pursue what's going to make you happy in this world, doing everything in its power to screw you over. F these people. F what they think. They're not you. This is your life and your experience. Always prioritize yourself. Period. But that's all I wanted to get off my chest, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, there is life beyond your pain. I will see you guys next time. Take care, and God bless.